We've fielded a lot of questions over the years here at Calvary. While these may not always be the only answers, they're our answers, and we hope they help you as you continue to grow in your faith.
It's a two-part question. The first part is sorcery real? If by real you mean can a person conjure and control demons, I would say no. The only control, and that's not even the right word, but control over demons in the New Testament that we see is when Jesus or a disciple is casting demons out of a person. If by real you mean do demons manifest themselves when people mess around with the occult, yes. And it's my personal belief that they acquiesce and can act as if they're being controlled, but incantations and spells and the kinds of things that we see in movies and on television, they don't control demons. Demons, if people think they're controlling demons, they're in for a surprise because they are super intelligent, powerful beings. And so the reason we don't mess around with things like sorcery and Ouija boards and palm reading and all that is because the power behind it is real. There is demon power behind it. That's why Paul said when he's talking about food sacrificed to idols, he said an idol is nothing, but he acknowledged that there were demons behind it. So you don't want to be messing around with that stuff, and you're never going to be able to control it, no matter whether people think they do or not. The other part of the question was, how far can the enemy go with unbelievers and believers? We're going to dedicate at least one whole study to this. It's a very fascinating question, obviously, but real quick, demons can obviously do terrible things to unbelievers, including possess them. We get that from the New Testament for sure. As far as believers, while some teach we can be possessed, I just don't see that anywhere in the Word. There are arguments about the word for possession and what it actually means and how far a demon can go with a believer. But what we're going to study later on is some things that demons can do, and we'll try and keep them in their context. For example, in Ephesians it says, be angry and don't sin, don't let the sun go down on your wrath, or give place to the devil. So if you're a Christian, you can give place to the devil. Some people translate that foothold, others translated opportunity. And so we don't want to give an opportunity to the devil as Christians to tempt us and to stumble us and things like that. Romans 6:12 says, don't let sin reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in its lusts. And so this again is a situation where if you yield your members to sin rather than to God, then you are serving that master. Ultimately, you're serving Satan. You're not possessed, you're just sinning. 1 Timothy 4:1 says, the Spirit says that in last days some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. So the teachers themselves that are teaching these doctrines of demons may not be saved, but obviously the effect of their teaching can influence believers. And so if you're listening to a teaching that is really the doctrine of a demon, it may sound biblical. We would put a lot of pop psychology in that realm, where especially the kinds of psychology that's not based on any research or science, where people just have their ideas about dreams and things like that. These are the doctrines of demons, and they can influence you in a negative way. Then in 2 Timothy 2, it says, a servant of the Lord must not quarrel, but be gentle to all, able to teach, patient in humility, correcting those who are in opposition. God perhaps will grant them repentance so that they may know the truth, that they may come to their senses and escape the snare of the devil, having been taken captive by him to do his will. Now there's an argument among scholars as to whether that verse refers to believers or non-believers, but either way, it only says that you're caught in a satanic trap. It doesn't say you're possessed, but obviously you're in a bad place. You've fallen into a snare, a trap that the devil has laid for you. So as we'll see, and we'll develop this more, it'll take more time, but the devil can do a lot of damage, but he cannot possess you. He cannot take control of you if you are a Christian. We just need to be vigilant and steadfast against his wiles.
You can find a lot more content, like dozens of podcasts through different books or topics in the Bible, by visiting calvaryhanford.com/podcasts.